Welcome to Rise from the Ashes. Our podcast looks at various issues for families. We'll be talking with attorneys about personal and legal concerns having to do with divorce, custody, and parenting time. There are also a few topics about letting go, moving on, and new beginnings. Please keep in mind this podcast is only to inform and help to understand legal and personal issues as it relate to family law. It should not be considered as a replacement for a qualified family law attorney. When in doubt, please contact a professional. Rise from the Ashes, focusing on matters of the family, because family matters. Hi, and welcome to our podcast, Rise from the Ashes. I'm David Braddock. I'll be the host for today's podcast, and we're talking today with Susan Mundahl, who is our senior attorney at Mundahl Law. How are you today, Susan?
I'm doing quite well, David.
I understand that you have a new product at Mundahl Law on a platform called Teachable. Is that correct?
Well, that's right, David. I've actually done a step-by-step tutorial for folks who want to do their own divorce. It's done in a format, so it's a series of classes that people can sign up for.
Well, tell us about do-it-yourself divorce, Susan.
David, this is a project that is near and dear to my heart. This is the culmination of my life's work, and what I wanted to do was to share the wisdom I have learned from 33 years of practice in helping people move forward to do their own divorces.
It sounds like you've told a little bit of why, but are there any other reasons why you are doing this?
Yeah, the main reason is that 80% of folks are trying to do divorces on their own, and they're not doing a very good job of it. And then they want to come to me and try and have me fix it. And the bottom line is, once you get that final judgment and decree, you have very limited circumstances to be able to make changes, and it's really limited to typos or to fraud. I want to make sure that folks have enough information to be able to know, number one, whether they can do this divorce on their own, and then the how-to. And it's a really great project that I have done. And what it is it's now a product on Teachable, and it's a series of classes that they can take as modules.
Is there a certain group of people that you think will benefit most from this?
Well, it's really anyone who wants to do their own divorce, but the folks that I think are interested in doing their own divorce are really the young people, the generation who have followed all of us older folks who have already been through divorce ourselves, and they've seen how messy and terrible their parents' divorces were, and they say, can we do this better by doing it ourselves? Those are the folks that I want to give the leg up to be able to do their own divorces.
What does the program consist of generally?
Well, I've separated it down into a series of modules, and then within each of the modules, there's basically about 10 to 15 minutes of instruction. Some of them might be a little longer, but I've tried to keep it in bite-sized pieces, and it's on a platform so they can access it 24 hours a day, and basically they just pay one fee, and then they have access to it, so they can pick and choose what it is they need to hear, and if they need to hear it again. That way, I tried to make it more available to them to do their own divorce.
Sure, on their phone or what have you.
Yeah, absolutely. They can do it on their phone or any of their media platforms or computer.
Now, you said it's a group of modules. How many modules are there exactly?
Well, I've broken it down into 4 modules.
Okay, 4 modules. Let's start with module number 1. What does that consist of?
What I wanted to do in Module 1 is to give you an overview of the various types of divorces, the important definitions that are used by the courts, the filing costs that are involved, and the important court timeframes. So this really gives you a nice overview.
Right. Just because a person is going to be doing the divorce themselves doesn't make the rules of the court go away in the various timelines, so that sounds pretty necessary.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the court's position is that if you're doing it yourself, you're basically required to have the same knowledge that I have, even though I have been through law school and 33 years of experience dealing with the courts.
Right. Judges like things to work the way they're supposed to work. So what is module number 2 going to contain?
Well, module 2 is really a how-to. I go through the self-help forms. These forms are available through the Minnesota Judicial website, but I get an awful lot of folks asking me how to fill out these forms. And so Module 2 really goes into exactly what information is needed on these forms. I'm giving you guidance on how to complete the forms and what the court is looking for in answering the forms.
Yeah, so that there isn't the wrong information on the wrong blank.
That's right, because that can be highly detrimental, given the fact that these are going to be permanent documents recording the contract to dissolve your marriage.
Right, there's a marriage contract, and now this is the contract to dissolve the marriage.
That's right. And it's going to control the property settlement, the child support, spousal support, and how the kid's custody and parenting time looks.
You have virtually everything for the rest of your life or the significant part of your children's life.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a document, if there are children, that is going to carry through till the children are no longer minors. So it is extremely important to do it right.
Tell us about Module number 3.
Module 3 gives you the details to reach a final agreement. I really dig down deep into the financial piece of it, meaning spousal support, and the property issues. And I talk about the various kinds of property, things like what is non-marital versus marital property.
That'll, I assume, include retirement accounts, obviously the home, etc.
You're absolutely right, David. I dig down into all of that. And again, this is not any kind of promotional. This is really to give people the nuts and bolts of their divorce in order to help them to understand. So property settlements have to be fair and equitable. That's exactly what I'm doing is to give them the knowledge on how to reach a fair and equitable settlement of all of these issues.
So they'll have a fair chance of doing it pretty well.
That's right.
And then let's take a look at Module 4. What will you be covering in that?
I set off Module 4. This deals with the children, because if you're a couple who doesn't have any children, you are only going to really need Module 1, 2, and 3. And I haven't made it a different price, and so it's encapsulated in it. But Module 4 is specifically to relate to the children issues. So it's a little longer than the other modules. It's a bonus, basically.
So what exactly will Module 4 actually include?
Well, number one with children is always, what is custody going to look like? And so I go into the types of custody in Minnesota and how the courts view it. Next is how to develop a child-focused parenting plan, which is vital. So I go into all of the wheres on how to do that and how to create one and what the court is looking for in terms of the various types of parenting plans out there. So again, it's a really great how to understand to make the best parenting plan you can for your children. Then finally, what a lot of people care about is child support. So I go into a complete breakdown of how child support is calculated in Minnesota, how to do the calculations, the reason behind the calculations. And as you know, child support not only includes basic support, but also health and dental insurance and non-reimbursed medical expenses.
And from what I understand, the child support is calculated along with the parenting time. There's guidelines for that, and that's what you'll be covering?
Well, that's right, David. In Minnesota back in 2009, and actually more recently, they have now done calculations based on the approximate number of overnights that you have with your child, averaged over a 2-year period of time. We no longer look at who has custody of the children to determine their child support. It is based on this, and it's based on the exact number of overnights. We used to have what was called a cliff, and the majority were between 10 and 45%, and now we no longer have that cliff. So I go into some of that, not in huge amount of detail, but just enough to give them an understanding, and then the how-to of how to calculate it for their particular situation.
Would this plan for a do-it-yourself divorce, will that work for every single divorce?
No, it's not intended for every single divorce. There are some complex issues, like when there's a business involved, even if it is a small business. This was not intended to replace a consultation with an attorney. It is talking about the general principles of the law, and your case may be very unique, but it certainly will give you an overview. I think it would be an excellent adjunct even to before you retain an attorney or that it would give you the opportunity to perhaps only retain an attorney for a limited scope, for just maybe to tackle the business valuation and to be able to handle the child matters yourself.
Well, it certainly sounds like you would be able to understand a lot more, even if you end up deciding to hire an attorney. You know a lot more of the ins and outs of how it's actually going to work.
And that was the purpose of it. It really was to give people a good base foundation and to assist them if they go through the course and they go, oh, I can do this myself. Great. And if they can't, they know that we're available and we can answer questions. We can help them to maybe just do a piece of their divorce, or in some cases for them to decide, you know what, I really do just want an expert to handle this more quickly and efficiently than I can handle it myself.
Let's talk just a little bit about the cost for a do-it-yourself divorce. Is it going to be affordable?
This course is affordable. It is really going to be slightly more than the cost of an individual consultation with an attorney, and yet you're getting hours of information. Actually, if you even use it in conjunction with seeing an attorney, you are going to save an awful lot of money in being able to understand the basics of how a divorce goes. I've done that on purpose in order to keep it affordable.
Well, I know you want to make this accessible to just about everyone that would have an opportunity to benefit from it. Are there any kinds of discounts or anything that you're allowing people to take advantage of?
Yes, David. I'm doing a discounted fee for individuals who want to come in through a legal aid program. If they qualify for legal aid to do their divorce, and yet they're waiting for someone from the Volunteer Lawyers Network, the legal aid office can get them a code. And if they want further information, they can contact my office about how to get that code to get the reduced rate.
All right. Well, that sounds great. This just sounds like a fantastic program. Can you tell us how folks can access this program? How can they sign up?
They can go to teachable.com and then put in Mundahl Law, do-it-yourself divorce, and that should be able to get them to that module, although it's my understanding that they have to pay for it before they get there. Another one is they can go from our website, our DIY divorce page.
So go to mundahllaw.com, the DIY divorce page, and there should be some prompts to get them through the sign-up process.
That's correct, David.
Okay. Very, very cool. Anything else you'd like to tell us about a do-it-yourself divorce?
Yes, I am here to say that a lot of you can do your own divorce. I wish you the best. I really hope you will take the course and you will benefit from it.
Thank you very much, Susan.
Oh, thank you, David. You have a great day.
You are listening to Rise from the Ashes, the podcast channel that takes a careful look at all things having to do with legal procedure within the family law process. Rise from the Ashes is sponsored by Mundahl Law, who specializes in assisting families and individuals through the legal process with respect, dignity, and caring. Mundahl Law is dedicated to helping people to solve their legal problems. You can visit the Mundahl Law website at mundahllaw.com or call to schedule a consultation with one of their qualified family law attorneys. Rise from the Ashes, focusing on matters of the family, because family matters.